So I'm just going to go through the basic prop arrangement for Shavasana, and also you'll see how many blankets I like to use in an ideal world. So this is a very large cotton blanket, which I'm very fond of. And what you'll do, it's really useful to have a big, heavy blanket. So we're going to open it out and get the long side and bring the fold, so you're bringing the short ends towards each other. Okay, so we have this. And then we're going to take it short end to short end. So you're going the opposite way, about this shape. And then we're going to go again short end to short end. So we're here. So this is our basic fold. And it's good if you can have a blanket which is reasonably thick or substantial, and that will definitely cover you when we're doing the full Shavasana with the cover at the end. So I'm just going to put that aside. I'll use that for something in a moment. Okay, so head support. Ideally a blanket. It can be done with a cushion or a pillow. I'll show you two different methods. So I've basically got the same fold in the blanket, and I'm just going to pop it into half again. And then we'll have a triangle. So this point is going to come down to the base of the neck, which is actually about here. You can see where my hand is. Yeah, it's about here. Okay, so not just in the curved part, but a little bit lower down. You'll feel when your head comes forward, there's a bone here, which kind of starts to stick out a little bit. So we want that point to come down to that place. So you're just going to jiggle until you feel like you're in the right place. And then you can stay like this, or you can just sort of curl under with these sides. If you can see, gets quite a nice support around the neck. You can carry on scrunching in the sides, like so. And what you might do is just give it a little bit more at the top, so you're lifting your head up. This is something that I would spend some time helping you with in class. So ideally we want the forehead to be slightly higher than the chin, the neck to be long, and to feel well supported. So this is one option. And then another option I really like, I'm going to use a slightly bigger blanket for this one, but actually you could use the same. This is just a tiny bit bigger. So I've got that first fold. That's the kind of primary fold. And then I'm going to flip it over, but not all the way. So I'm leaving 2 steps. So this bottom edge is going to come down to that base of the neck. The top edge, this gets really technical. I'm going to bring it down to the top of the shoulders, and then we're going to flip it up. Oops, that's under, up, like this. Okay? So you've got that just nestling down to the top of the shoulders. And then I'm going to start folding under. So you get this top layer and start to tuck it under like this. Can you see? And the same on the other side. Just tucking it under. It creates a lovely cradling right down into the neck. Go ahead and do that all the way down, and then you can leave it like this, or you can also give that bottom one a slight tuck. That is up to you. Now these bits at the top, these corners,
I'm going to tuck those in and under, and hopefully you can see what that does is it just brings up the top of my head. So just keep doing it until it feels really comfy. So my forehead is slightly higher than my chin, and that feels beautiful. The neck is really well supported. Okay, so I can leave this here and then show you. You can probably see that arrangement. So that's the head support. I don't need to change that. I'm going to have a bolster, but it could also be cushions under the knees. And then I want something under the ankles because these bolsters are quite high. And actually it's really nice to support underneath the ankles. So I have the standard fold of the blanket. I'm going to do it about a third of the way across. And then I'm going to do a tight roll like this. So you're creating a lovely shape, which hopefully is about half as high as this one. Okay, that's going to be for under the knees, and that's for under the ankles. And I'll need to adjust those to make sure that everything's in the right place. Okay, so I'm going to use a blanket for cover, for covering my body. So it definitely wants to be big enough so we can get that ready to go. Yep, I'll just have that there, ready to pull over. And then I'm going to use a couple more blankets, but it could be a little cushion or something similar for the hands. And I'll show you this when I'm lying down. But ideally, we want a little bit of support just under the back of the wrist so that the hand comes into flexion. So this is extension, this is flexion. Okay, so that's very, very relaxing when we do that. So I've got two, one on each side. I'll also show you the position of the hand. So first of all, I'm going to check how are these in position when I get my head back into its little cradle. So that feels good. You could do it the other way around. You could have the bolster in position first and then do the head support after. So just to recap, this wants to be supporting the backs of the legs, the back of the knee, and this is coming right in to support the Achilles at the back of the ankle. This is going to come over, so you're super warm. And if I were doing this as a proper practice, I would definitely have a jumper on. I would have some warmer layers on. I'd want to make sure that, because when you lie still, you get really chilly very quickly. Okay, so that cover is coming over, but I'm not going to do that for now because I want you to be able to see what's going on. So the hands are coming out to the side, like so. That feels pretty good. And the wrists are just elevating like this. Now if that doesn't feel high enough, you can flip it over. Maybe I'll go that way. And you can make, so if I take it out to the side, you're making a little support just for the back of the wrist and the hand. So can you see that? But I'm going to have my arm out to the side or slightly down. And I actually really like it with the extra fold. And then you're just checking in, how does that feel? Forehead slightly higher than the chin, neck really well supported, back well supported. And last thing, the cover. So I'll just go ahead and show you the cover over, making sure that you're really, really warm. And then I'd put that over my hands as well. And I am a big fan of covering the eyes. So I like these eye pillows. I would probably try and get the weight so that it's less on the eyeball and more on the eye socket, around the brow. And then we'll find the way in and have the hands supported and have everything really well tucked in and covered. Okay, now to come out of the pose, I will guide you if I'm doing a session with you. You'll start to breathe more deeply. You'll turn your kneecaps and your toes up towards the ceiling. In your own time, you're going to bring your legs back, so one foot and second foot on the bolster. You can start to breathe more deeply, move more deeply. And then as you're ready, we'll roll over to the side, so tucking the knees in. And taking several breaths, lying on the side. This is really important, especially if you've been lying down horizontal for quite a long time. So we're taking at least 3 breaths. And then when you are ready to come up, use your hand, tuck the chin, and roll up from your center. Okay, so quite a lot of props. Just to recap, probably the most important one is the head support. You can do it just with a plain blanket. It doesn't need to be a fancy tuck, but something to support the back of the head. We definitely want to have a blanket for cover, if that's possible. To have a big, heavy one, that would be really great. Something that will cover your whole body and hopefully the arms when they're outstretched. And then everything else is kind of just an excellent luxury to have, really good to have. So something under the wrists, really helpful. Definitely bringing the ankles up so they're about half as high as the knees, but definitely starting with the head as the most important thing. And I like an eye pillow, but you might prefer to have something a bit lighter in weight, so it could be a scarf or something else. And if we were doing a proper restorative practice, I'd have the lights off, the curtains drawn, so the basic principles of still, quiet, dark and warm are to be remembered. Okay, so I hope that's really useful and I hope to see you soon.